extremely fascinated as a human about another intelligent life.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dolor podcast. Today's guest, I'm very amazed that we have here sitting around us. I've been knowing some of them for a long time, some for a few years, but ever since I known him the first time, I've been seeing him over and over, consistently, and they've been bringing nothing but beautiful things to the community and a beautiful vision to the holy plant, the angelic lettuce. The first person that I want to talk about, she was presented to me, I believe, through Riz, or I forgot how exactly I started noticing you, but definitely more interactive in Instagram. And from knowing how she rolled, how she is, how she thought, how she was very open about what's going on in her life and how she portrays it and writes it down in her stories, and you read it and you connect with her, which was amazing as a person to learn about other people once they write it down and put it out there and you connect to it, and then it touches your heart, and it's always been amazing to see her growth as a person, as a mom, as a business, as just in general, as her life. Just recently I seen something that she posted about her personal life that I really kind of got, like, at first I was like, oh shit, like took back and kind of had to kind of like really put it in my mind and think about what she said and what her life she's going on in her life, and kind of be like, yo, but nobody really hears about this, nobody really speaks out about this. And I'm glad that she's doing it, because I think she probably personally has inspired so many women, so many moms, so many entrepreneurs.
I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah, already, yeah. But also, I remember one time that I did a drop a t-shirt, and I wanted her to be pretty much the model for it, because she fit perfectly for the message. And this was when I was shy by love. We had a photo shoot. We got to talking. We smoked weed. We chilled, and it was one of those very beautiful experiences where you, like I said, I see her Instagram stories, but now it's real life. Now it's more connected. Now it's like, yo, this person is real. And that's what a lot of people doubt when people see something online. Oh, is this how they really are? No, this is how they really are. So ever since then, seeing the growth of her movement, because I remember that specific park she will always run. And from there, this the Runner Shy Club came about. And that's when she connected with the other guest, which I met him through AJ. He did an event in Pilsen. Shout out Southside Dreams. And then so I made it through there, and he had the elevated cocktails, and it was another different experience that I've never seen before. It's just something you probably seen online, and you're like, yeah, this is people doing the other side of the fence, But no, this guy's from the community. This guy's just like me. This guy came about just like me. He's also a father. He's also a runner. He's also an an explorer, an adventurer, and that's something that I really, really loved about him. And not only that, is seeing his stories about with his son is one of the most inspiring things you can see and feel, because you feel those videos, you feel the kid smile, you feel his smile, you feel when they dance, you feel everything, the stories. It captivates you, it motivates you, and it makes you want to be a better father, be a better person. Same with her. And that's something beautiful that I'm glad that it's been in my life, because it definitely has motivated me to be a better person. And today's guest is AK and Carlos. You know, I could go forever, so I want to.
You really did talk for 8 minutes.
That was about 8 minutes.
8-minute
That wasn't.
intro.
I told you. You thought I was. You thought I was joking. You
And
thought
my
I
whole
was
life
joking.
story was put out there. Thank you.
Already crying.
Yeah.
But where are we, Fred? I don't know where we're at right now.
We're at Made Studios or
Made Gallery.
Made Gallery.
Yeah. Who knows about this? Dan knows, right? Hold on. Yeah, here you go, buddy.
Yeah, this is really epic. It was really more of just of an idea that ended up happening, and kind of a coincidence of different things aligning. Said, "Hey, is this possible?" And everyone showed up and did their thing. So it's been a testament to what's possible. I think I'm like sitting at a table with people that look like me, that's an important role model type of thing to have. Mm-hmm. Not even just as entrepreneurs, but just in general as people. And again, same thing that we were just both saying. Like the more that we see each other's lives through the stories, the more that we kind of all that sticks with us. I'm like, man, I want to be like that. I want to be a good dad like Carlos. I want to be a good mom like AK. So it's just wild to be here right now and just kind of let that all coalesce. We're gonna go hang out and see our homie LC after this. So it was just really cool. So it's just been really cool to just be able to like have this, all these paths align and be able to. I mean, we're in a nice, beautiful speakeasy full of beautiful, gorgeous glasses that run the gamut from pipes to freaking Pokemon. Is just incredible. Chris, so shout out to Chris.
Yes.
We're incredibly thankful to be here,
Place.
entertaining this idea. So shout out to him. This is an incredible place. If you're not following them on Instagram, follow them right now.
Yeah.
They do a bunch of different events all over, like every weekend essentially. So just get on their stories and stuff, and you'll see that they're doing a lot of great stuff. So shout out.
Yes. So Dan, I definitely want to thank you, because again, you have made this possible. So shout out to you for this and for all you do, and for your stories too. You're the fucking man, Dan.
Dan is the man.
Dan is the man. Dan started running with you guys, but I'm going to save that for later. I kind of want to know you, because we chopped it up with Carlos, so we got a good information. But for you, how did you first get introduced to the angelic lettuce? When was your first interaction? Did you see it? Was it like half-baked? You walked in a store with your friends? You grabbed all the munchies?
That happens often till this day. But how I was introduced to the angelic lettuce was during elementary school. It was the summer of 7th grade. Yeah.
Wow.
It was the summer of 7th grade. I've always kind of been around it. Like I knew what it was. Yeah. But when I finally tried it was the summer of 7th grade. And I remember it clearly. It was a beautiful day, Douglas Park. It was like, I think I was going to play soccer that summer, and we were out with friends, and all of a sudden, like, one of our friends was like, well, are we smoking or what? And I'm like, what the fuck are we smoking? Like, who are you talking to? And at that moment, like, I realized that, like, I didn't want to be the outsider, and I'm like, I've always been curious, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and try it.
Yes.
And
Peer pressure.
Yep. Well, no, not really.
Curiosity.
We aligned very well at that time.
And then she took her first hit, and then
It was over.
Most definitely. Most definitely, yeah. And after that, it's been history ever since. It's been part of my life ever since. I've been through a lot of stages in my life, and it's always stuck around, and it's helped me. But I've been in or I'm in a better place or in a better relationship with it now. So
What do you mean helped you? How can a plant help a person?
Oh no! What? A plant helping a person? No way.
Yes. What is this nonsense you're speaking of? So how did this?
Is that new? That sounds new.
Right. Sounds like French or something.
Yerba buena?
Yeah. So
Yes.
how did this plant help you?
It has helped me mentally. It has helped me physically. So it's been part of my life now on a daily basis. I use it to slow down, focus, really like be in the moment. It helps me physically with just like, pain. I could sleep now, like when I smoke. There's just so many ways it's really helped me to like just stay sane.
Right.
Yeah, like people have not caught these hands because of it. So you guys are so lucky. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Wow.
They're lucky.
Yeah.
Right.
So I want to know, how did the transition go from like more of a mental into the physical? Because for me, it's kind of always been on the opposite sides. Smoking, at least for me, in my perspective, or like the stigma, smoking's kind of it's a preventative. It's not going to help you get better. Yes, it's counterproductive. It's going to slow you down. You're not going to want to run. You can't work out. All my friends, no. How do you mix the two? It's no, you don't do that. But you, along with Carlos, I'm gonna save that, incorporated both. You grab the orange and you grab like a purple contrast, and you're like, boom, I'm gonna make some new colors.
Yes. It actually, as I continued to use it throughout my life, I started to, obviously grow a passion for it.
Yeah.
And after, growing this passion, I wanted to know more.
Yeah.
So I started doing, research. I read a lot about it online via books. And I got to the point where the more I knew, the more, and also like using it, like I knew how much I was able to consume to be still productive.
Yeah.
So obviously when I would smoke a whole lot, I'd just be tired. And, there's that stigma where stoners tend to be lazy. Such a lie.
Yeah.
And, so then I started realizing, my tolerance. I started being more aware of it. And that kind of helped me figure out how I wanted to use that. So, like, if I did want to go to sleep, when I have those moments of, not being able to sleep at night, then I'd use it to go to sleep. Or thankfully now we have more information out there. We know what the terpenes are, all of this stuff that like provides you a good, way of using it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I also wanted to say something because of what you said. A lot of times, I think growing up in the hood, you think that you need to smoke a whole blunt. Because that's how usually, somebody brings a blunt out, you have to smoke the whole thing.
Yeah, like 3, 4, 5 of them.
Right. So a lot of people think that they need to get really, really high whenever they do get high.
Right.
They have this perspective of, no, you need to keep smoking. But no, you need to figure that out.
Yeah.
Take a few puffs. If you already feel it, let it sit there and just take care of your business with that high. Don't just get over blasted with it and just let it take over you,
Exactly.
So
that's called abusing the plant, by the way.
Exactly.
So if anybody didn't know, now you know.
Then it becomes a devil's lettuce.
You're right.
But it's good that you brought that point out, that you know how to control it, so you know how to tackle things down,
Exactly. Yes.
So navigating through your life, since you were 7.
No, the summer of 7th grade.
Oh, okay. That was close.
You were 7.
7th grade. Since you were in 7th grade, so for you personally, like Fred, to bounce back off of that, you kind of have to experiment with it. So how did you navigate with the people around you? With jobs, with people, did you face any type of like, yo, you smoking too much? Or because for me, like you, like these guys, I had to find something when it comes to fitness, my personal range of, all right, this is all I need, and I can go however long. But to me, you kind of have to experiment, gauge,
Right.
low, high. All right, too much. Nope, I can't see right now. Can't run right now. But for you, since the 7th grade, how did you navigate with experimenting? Because now is a different time. We're sitting in a beautiful head shop. There's glass everywhere. It's a different time. It's like the Wild West. It's more open. But a few years back, it was different. It was way different. My man over there served some time for this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that
Carlos
blows my
served
mind.
some time.
Yes. Yeah. So for something that now is making billions, millions, it's the Wild West. But a few years ago, he's doing the same thing kind of he's doing now.
And even now, we have people in jail
Yes.
for this fucking plant.
So for you and then Carlos, once you both you guys can piggyback, Dan, whenever you're ready, piggyback. So how did you deal growing up with that? The stigma.
The stigma, yeah.
The devil's lettuce. Yeah.
The devil's lettuce. I was not 7 years old, by the way.
Sorry, people. That was my fault. Your mom's gonna call me. She's like, 7, mija. That was my fault. 7th grade. That's a few years away, anyways. How old are you?
You were close. So yeah, growing up, I had encountered a lot of stigma, right? Back then, even now. Back then, of course, I was at a very young age. I was obviously abusing the plant. I didn't know much about it. Till then, growing up, I started doing my own research. I had a passion for it. This was prior to kids. Again, I'm a mom and I'm a mother of 2. So, prior to having children, I was in high school. I had a lot of friends who used to smoke weed too. And, I didn't have the healthiest relationship even then. I was just kind of like using it when I needed it, and slowed down a little bit. Probably not freshman year, but throughout my high school years, or my years in high school, yes, it kind of started getting a little better. I wasn't abusing it as much. Then I had children, my first daughter. I kind of stopped using it just because I never did it before. Like, that was my first, first child, and I didn't know, and there was not much out there. Like, I tried to do research, and there was not much out there.
That's crazy.
So just to be on the safe side, I decided not to consume.
And it's also scary as a Latina because they have like, you smoke while you're pregnant.
Oh,
or
yes.
You're having a kid and you smoke, and just having that thought in your head of other people judging you like that.
No, for sure. Being a Latina, being raised in a Mexican household, God forbid you smell like weed.
Right.
God forbid.
Right.
Yeah, my grandfather's coming with an extension cord or something. Yeah, he's whooping that ass.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
And so then, after doing research, I then started to, build a healthier relationship with it. That was like, after having both of my daughters, I was then back again, using this plant. And at that point, I was doing more research. So I knew more about it. A lot more was coming out. Back then, we only had like Dro, that was like the best thing out. We had the Reggie.
Advanced Reggie.
Right. When I was smoking in Douglas Park, we were picking out the seeds and the stems.
Yes.
Yeah. So now we're in a different place.
Yes.
We
I
have
can smell this through the bag. It's a different time now.
Yes, definitely. You can smell it from shit.
Yeah.
And there's different kinds. So I just then continued that relationship, had a healthier one. I had a time in my life where I was, a little depressed. I was definitely depressed. And at that point, like, I don't know, I was just, weed wasn't even helping. Like, I could not shut my mind off whatsoever. And so that's when I knew, like, man, I'm in a very dark place right now. And I think I don't know, it was a blur. I don't know how to really explain depression, but I remember the feeling of being depressed. I remember somewhat of what I went through, and I right now I can't even remember if I like continued to consume because I knew it wasn't helping, and I was in a better relationship with it. But I guess trauma, right? Like you kind of black out. I can't remember. But finally, when I got out of that, I might have still, like, I think I may, maybe I was consuming. Because now that I think about it, I was consuming right after being, hopping out of that depression phase. Yeah. And that's when I started running. Yes. So that's when I started running. And it just was like the best thing I've done for myself.
Wow. I have a big footnote right there. I have one question. You were out. You left the club. Why'd you come back? You stopped smoking for a while, yes, because of the children, but you had a time where you were like, tolerance was gone. Why did you decide to come back?
I think...
What brought you back to the team?
I've always been around it. I want to say because I recalled it helping me before, that it would continue to help me.
Yeah.
And it did.
Yeah.
And it really did. It helped me continue my journey as a runner. It got me in the gym. It got me, out of everything where I was at before, I am in such a different place in my life, and it's amazing.
Wow. Can you get a round of applause for that plant right there?
And
go ahead.
For Carlos, I wanted to know how difficult it was from you after you got penalized for it.
Penalized, bro.
And then come back to do it again. How was that thought process? How was that?
Yeah. How was
that struggle?
Man, yeah. That's an interesting place to jump in at. It is still difficult.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
It's really crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Because although I'm doing something a little bit different, as in, literally I was selling weed in college. That's where I got busted, and I was going to Purdue University. So to be still utilizing cannabis, or educating people, or serving this plant, literally serving the plant. It's still a crazy thing to think about. I'm no longer for about 12-13 years of my life I was a felon for cannabis.
Is it expunged?
Yes.
Fuck yeah. Good shit, man. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, in 2020, when the pandemic hit, I used some of that stimulus money.
Yeah.
Okay, for a fucking lawyer, get that shit off my record. Because my cases, I'm from Indiana. Man. My cases are from Indiana, so
shout out to
No,
shout out to Indiana.
But
somebody boo this man. No,
but yeah, ever since 2020 is when I started my business, Up Elevated Cocktails, where I do, like I said, I'm serving cannabis via beverage. I'm educating. I do a lot of educating and consulting people on this plant. There's whatever it is, clearing up misconceptions or educating new consumers. That's really crucial, and that's what's really necessary, and that doesn't happen very often. So, and even it's pretty crazy. Some of my own professional friends or friends that are in the political sphere, when they choose to want to do that, they come to me.
Yeah.
And that's happened on a couple of occasions.
You're the guy.
Yeah, the smart friends. I'm just oh wow, okay, cool. And it's all right, well, here's what you need to know, or here's where you need to go, So it's great to be like a resource now for people to either strengthen their relationship or just learn about the plan or whatever it is, just be speaking about cannabis with people. But yeah, it's still something, even though I'm no longer a felon technically on paper,
it's still in the mindset,
I
right?
was labeled a criminal for so long,
Wow.
It was, and then that's kind of what led me along this journey of like entrepreneurship and
redemption,
like,
man.
community. Yeah, really. You know, like I was, despite having had a college degree, I got a business degree. You know, I wasn't able to get corporate jobs because of that felony status, you know. So that's kind of what led me into the beer industry, because I worked with a 420 friendly company, Lagunitas. So that wasn't an issue there, and then I was able to like prove myself and like work my way up, you know. Like I went from serving beers in a tap room to fucking a marketing role, and then into a sales and marketing role with 18th Street Brewery and things like that. So you know, like I had 18th, the homies for sure. But like I always knew that I had these capabilities, you know. Literally, though, it's funny when I think back of it. Like we kind of started. Well, I didn't really get to talk about my background with cannabis. We kind of just jumped in right at like me being a fucking felon for this shit.
Did you start at 7 years old too?
No, no, but I did start in the 7th grade as well. But yeah.
How'd you get introduced to the? Well, back then it was the Devil's Lettuce.
Yeah.
How'd you get introduced to that? What was your first interaction, engagement with it?
I feel like similarly to AK, you know, I was just a kid growing up in the hood. You know, a lot of my families were into some, you know, scrupulous activities or whatever, and just smoking weed was just a byproduct of that. Yeah. And you know, I was more of like a little skater fucking. And when I was younger, I wasn't really too much into gang banging. Yeah. But yes, I remember very, very fondly my first time smoking weed was out of an inhaler. Just like take the fucking thing out, flip it around.
Some MacGyver shit.
Yeah, dude, it's the fucking most ghetto shit ever. But
damn, you must.
So before the blunt, there was that.
Wow. The apple. There's the MacGyver shit. Man.
No, we didn't have fruit in the house. No.
Damn.
The can of Coke.
That sounds more like can of beer, more like it.
Yeah. Aluminum foil.
But no, it's a really, it's like I think you said earlier, a full circle thing, you know, like to have been labeled a bad person or whatever it might be for so long, but the only bad thing I'd ever done in my life that I'd gotten caught for is selling weed, which now we know is $1 billion industry, and those with money and access can do that while still, I mean, if you want to get really real with it, still people that look like us, what do they call them here in Illinois, social equity or whatever. 3.5 years later, we are still not operational or in this game, and that's the problem. And like, you know, I don't mean to go down that route, but you know, like it's a crazy game. You know, it's a crazy game.
We go
take it there.
Yeah. We're on our way.
I think you know, like AK and I and lots of people like your guys as well, and lots of people in our community, we are perfect examples of just like follow your dreams. You know, like. Whatever it is you want to make happen, like especially if
Nothing's
it's an idea no one's had, like you can totally bring it to fruition, you know. Like my business idea was an idea before, you know, I had to be a reality. Same thing, you know, with Runner's High, or same thing with AK-47. Like these are just ideas that we brought to life, you know, and it's really cool to do that. Period. Especially, it's really cool to do that alongside a really cool friend.
Yeah.
Damn.
Beautiful segue. Beautiful.
Yeah,
you want to do it? You want to do it? I do it.
Go ahead, because that's running.
What do you guys think about aliens? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we didn't even answer the last one.
They're so fucking real. We are aliens.
We're gonna save that one. That's gonna be the behind the scenes after you brought it up, the Runner's High. How did that come together? Yeah. Because when I first heard about that, to me, my little mind was like, "What? What?" I again.
You were mind blown.
My instant, like instant, like one. Again, my perspective, the two don't mix. And then when I started learning and going
perspective or experience.
First, it was perspective. So it was just everyone like, I believe the
like this wouldn't
theory.
Even help. So why am I even gonna try?
Nope. Okay. I'm not even gonna do it. I'm in the fitness world.
Yeah,
don't touch it. It's gonna demotivate you. It's gonna not help you. It's not gonna help you recover. It's not gonna help you run. It harms the lungs. It harms everything. And then I didn't listen to anybody. I was like, let me try. Yeah. And then when you go for a run, and like, this is magical. I'm having a great time right now. And then I'm like, I just ran 4 miles.
Yeah.
I just ran 4 miles, and it's pretty fast. And I didn't even try. And then when I do try, my brain's like, I'm tired, I'm dying, it's 1 mile, I'm worried about speed, I'm worried about what am I going to eat, did I feed my dog, did I leave the door open?
Yes.
And then, yo, shut up, brain. And my brain just gets, and then when nope, I'm looking at the trees, I got my playlist going, I'm la la la. And then I got these guys. These guys started, we started running. He started running with you guys. Go ahead.
I started with you guys.
Oh, you got 2 mics in the face, boy.
I was gonna say, shout out to both of you because I started with you guys. It's like training wheels. You allowed me to believe that I could do it, and then y'all showed me what's possible. We can run and clean up the neighborhood. And be good role
good footnote.
models and put up dreams, doing different events. All of you, on top of all 5 of you being that type of thing, prototypes in your own way of this is a blueprint of what's possible. I can put my stuff out. I have ideas, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's been really refreshing having those role models. I think if you don't have those, the world can seem like a much darker place, or it can seem like, you could go down, and going back to the way you said, abusing the plant. It's very easy for us to do that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But now that we say, oh no, you can do this. You can stack a bunch of miles. You can go pump some iron out in the yard, bro.
Hell yes.
All this is now this is what's possible. So everyone's painting a picture in that way.
Yeah. And for me, I did it before, and just for shits and giggles. And when these guys, to me, it was like a piggyback effect. When you guys know, when you run with more people, you get I can run longer, I can run faster, I can whoa. To me, that's mind.
About the entourage effect.
Yes, it's mind-boggling. And we smoked before, we had some coffee, we shot the shit, we stretched, and then we go for a run. And to me, I wish a lot more people would do that.
Yes.
Because it takes away for me at least, and I know many other people, the brain. It takes the brain. I gotta run. I gotta do this. Shut up, brain. Just relax.
Right.
Enjoy this plant. Enjoy this playlist. Enjoy your homies running, the view, the sky, the scenery, whatever you're at. Just go.
Sunshine.
The sunshine. Enjoy that. Enjoy it. Kind of focus on that instead of other crap. But you guys built a runners club. And it's not just you guys. You guys are running. You bringing other people, Dan. And it's not just let's smoke. Now it's more community based. Let's be more proactive and clean up the community around us. If we're running and there's trash and everyone's high, it's cool, but there's all this fucking trash where we run. It's not, So for you guys to do that, double mind blowing. So how did you guys come up with the idea, the inception? Give me everything, please.
The tea.
Yes, to the T. Because I'm a huge fan, and any way we can support or endorse or whatever, that is so. To me, that's awesome because you're bringing more people into fitness, and you're bringing more people like you guys, like your politician. They turn to you for information, and for me, I didn't have the information. I got to find it on their own. So you guys find it. So people don't have to find it anymore. They can just,
we're the plugs. We're the real plugs.
Yes. You guys are the plugs. So plug me in and how the Runner's High got started.
I want to say AK and I met in 2021. Obviously, we had started our businesses already, and we just through kind of like Instagram and her brand and things like that. And then there was this one event that I went to, and I pretty much went with the intention. I try to be very intentional, I went with the intention to at least meet this person and make
AK-47?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know this.
Yeah. It was like some vendor event, and you were definitely one of the vendors. So I was like, I'm gonna check it out. It was I want to say a Sunday afternoon or something like that in the park. So I just went, and but then once you put a face to the name, the Instagram handle or whatever, it's cool because you, just like you said, through Instagram, you see, just like Freddie was saying, you see their life, and for me, it resonated in so many different levels because I myself am a parent, a single parent. I myself am a professional of sorts. I am a cannabis consumer, and then as I followed her, more and watched her stories, I would see that she's a runner as well.
Is this before you knew I was a she?
No, I knew you were a she first, and then I was like, oh, you run as well. You know, I feel like we met in like the summer, and then by that, what was it, the turkey trot? So that's where we first met and ran together.
Yep.
Smoked before?
Yeah, of course.
For sure.
Like it was like it was probably something weird because like
I had posted on Instagram if anybody was running the turkey trot, and Carlos was like, "Yo, I'm trying to run that. Like I ran it, last year or something like that." And he right then and there like bought his ticket. I was like, "Fuck yeah, we're linking, we're smoking, we're running, all that."
Yes.
that might have been like the first time we like really ever hung out. And it was like early morning. We were taking a blunt cruise on the way to this turkey trot up on the north side.
Blunt cruises.
And then we ran the race and whatever, and we just
Down
like,
LSD.
Yeah, that's magical right there.
It was.
And
I was like, I found my friend.
Yes.
Yeah, for real. 'Cause,
Karate
like,
in the garage.
I feel like I feel like every stoner has that like lonely stoner mentality, So same, like I thought I was the only person in the world who would smoke weed and then go run. So when I found out that this person that I had already so much in common with on a couple of different levels was also a runner, and we met that day, and it was just like it's super cool. And we talked about the idea of a cannabis run club and how cool that would be. We see the different types of run clubs in Chicago and just the community. I used to run with the 18th Street Brewery Run Club and also McKellar Run Club.
Shout out, man.
I dabbled in running over the years. And those were like brewery run clubs. But for me, like that doesn't work for me. Like beer and running is like, for me, it's just like terrible.
I've noticed that, I said it last time, I can't drink a beer and then go for a run or work out. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, no.
But I can smoke 100%. And work out. I can smoke and run.
Help.
I can,
it's gonna help. Make
and
it
to
better.
me, mind-boggling. But I want to save the alcohol versus the weed
Yeah,
for
yeah,
later.
yeah,
I know we have that one's loaded too. I want both of your guys' opinions on that.
But yeah, that's kind of where it all jumped off. That was like Thanksgiving 2021. So over the next 6
November.
months, we kind of just like mowed it over a little bit more, kind of like talked about what it could be and like linked up, decided on a day, and I designed a logo and we started an Instagram account, and I feel like we released that in like the spring, maybe March or April of last year. And then we started the first weekend of June, so exactly almost a year ago is when we launched this run club. And
1 year anniversary. Congratulations,
and
guys.
there's been people
yeah.
there are people that still run with us now that were there on that first day. And it's really really cool, especially to see all of our progression. You
guys
just
had
like-
one recently, right? It was like 50-something people?
Yeah,
What was
the
last-
420 run.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we run on a weekly basis, and now we're even up to 3 nights a week.
Wow.
Yeah, we have couple different run leads who run like a Monday night and a Wednesday night run.
So if you can't make it on Saturday, you can always
right.
make it on Monday or Wednesday.
Beautiful.
We out here.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Options are available.
Right.
Yeah. And I ran, where did I go? Remember when I was there? What event was that?
Cure Leaf joint.
Cure Leaf one.
Yeah.
So the whole vibe was beautiful because run clubs before to me is all right. We're gonna get ready. We got to stretch and run.
Yeah.
No, everyone's smoking, laughing, passing, and I'm like, this is
the
cool,
community,
man. Yes,
the
it's
community
a different
aspect
vibe.
of the camaraderie
The
is like
vibes.
really, really what's just like. I mean, I feel like that's the integral part of any run club. But for us, I always say like there's different levels, or like like a person has layers, right? Like so when it can get down to a more like molecular level of like. These people are my friends, or these people are also consumers like me. I know personally a lot of runners who smoke, but they don't really open up about their cannabis consumption with their run club community because
They're in
of
the
the
closet.
stigma, or like exactly 100%.
Right.
And it's cool because sometimes they'll come to our club and they're like, oh, I feel free, I feel seen here, or like
Yes.
I feel like I don't have to hide a part of myself, like,
And
that's the
that's what
only
we-
that's like the
yeah.
only part that they want to hide about themselves, but it's like such a part of their identity. Obviously with cannabis consumers, it's more than just consumption.
We saw
extra,
that
but-
when we dropped that chronic crew neck.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that not a lot, but there's a few people that purchased it, and they're like, "Well, I'm not really gonna post it or nothing, but I'm a big fan, and thank you. It's a beautiful one."
but I'm not gonna buy it.
I'm not gonna reshare.
Yeah, either they buy it and they're like, but I'm not gonna share it. It's just for me.
But I'm not
like,
gonna
personal.
tag you. Don't tag me.
Can't wear
And
it.
then there's other
Yeah.
people that are like, no, I can't buy because it's all
Yeah.
good, man.
Yeah.
And something I wanted to also ask, because with the running and smoking, I've noticed that when we did it, I can't do it. It fucks my breathing up. I overthink, like we were saying before, and it doesn't allow me my full potential, especially running at 3-4 or how many we did one time, 6.
Yeah, 6 miles.
6 miles. I can't take it there. And is there people in there in the runner side that don't really partake in the beginning or anything like that?
Yeah, we've had people come, and they don't, they've been open, and it's funny because they feel like the outsiders. Yeah, they feel like the outsiders.
The tables have
So
turned.
we had, what was it? I think it was 420 when Carlos was asking the crowd if anybody, if there was anybody who did not smoke. And
You can't run with us.
A few people.
No. You can't wear pink. We wear pink on Tuesdays.
There was a few people who raised their hands, and then there was someone who lied. they literally said, like, you know what, I raised my hand, but no, I really don't smoke. And it's because he was like, I feel like the outsider, and I told my homie that I was just gonna raise my hand. And it was like, wow, that's how we feel. Right? Like that's how we feel when we go out there, we smell, we just smoked. And oh, thank you. And speaking of, Jake's hit. And it was, and it's funny, but it's also not funny because we welcome everybody, whether you smoke or you don't smoke.
That's why I wanted to bring it up, because I don't want people to be overwhelmed by that.
Yeah.
That's
you
local?
know?
Yeah, no, and we get it because we have had people who don't share or don't really state that they're
heard that.
part of it
Right,
because of that reason. And
Exactly.
I mean, I get it, but at the same time, that's what we're doing. We're breaking the
Right.
stigma.
It just shines a light on the need for this type of community.
Yeah.
Not
Definitely.
just necessarily like the cannabis and fitness community, but like just a more open conversation and dialogue about this plant, a legal substance that is not, it's not. It's an essential medicine now. We now know that
It's not a
potential.
class 1. It's not.
Yeah, I mean it is. Let's schedule
Well,
that, but that's
yeah.
it has no, like indication of what this plant really is. It's such a helpful resource, but
I forgot what I was saying.
He did not just press that on his own.
He picked the perfect one too. He picked the perfect one. Hey, now's the perfect time. Hey, here you go, Dan. Dan wanted to plug it. Go ahead.
yeah.
What I was gonna say, that's Logan Local. It's Sour Z. So yeah, might as well get some nice herbs while we're looking at beautiful herbware.
Yeah.
It
Wares,
smells so good.
incredible
Oh my
stuff.
God.
So yeah, it's just
That's
great.
just smoking.
Good way to break bread between everyone. So cheers, y'all.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan the man.
Well,
You just sparked the fatty.
Well, just how we promote each other's businesses and clothing and everything. Someone grew this. And Dan knows, and I'm sure you guys know, to grow a good quality product, it takes some skill, and not everyone can do it. But when you do it, God, it tastes so delicious. It's wonderful, So if we can promote,
We're blessed.
if we can promote local people that are growing some awesome, taking a business, that once was stigmatized or criminalized, and now no, I can feed my family. It's not just So if we can help local businesses, you guys run clubs, anything. To me, again, running and I'm gonna ask both of you guys. So when you smoke, you personally, and then you go for a run, what do you guys think about? Because for this guy, I think he smokes a little too much, and then the brain's like, I'm running, because he's taller than
Ready?
us,
Oh,
and
yeah.
his stride. I told him if he opens up his stride a little bit, he can go yard.
Like
Yeah.
a gazelle.
Yes, like a gazelle, perfectly. And I think it's maybe a little bit too much or too.
There's a balance.
Yes.
Just
so
what-
for you guys,
Yeah. Well, that I feel like that and a conversation that was being had earlier is like there's like a balance or like a tolerance that you have to find for yourself. This plant affects.
Yes.
We're smoking the same joint and passing the same joint around the table, but based on our consumption habits or what
Our body.
a whole number of factors,
How we eat,
it's,
or
this
what we
one
ate,
joint
or
is going to
if
affect
we
all
ate.
of us differently. You know, like smoking this one fat joint with all of you guys will put me like in the perfect, like I'll go run some miles fucking right now, you know,
Ooh,
whereas
I'm
like,
about
you
to
know,
buy
maybe,
some running shoes here.
maybe
Just
Freddie
running
would
our
not be
mouths,
able
if
to, you
anything.
know, it's like, but there, you know, another thing I wanted to say earlier is like there are so many different types of cannabis applications now, you know, like, so if smoking for whatever reason is an issue because of like your lung capacity or whatever it might be, you know, affecting your ability to breathe, right, or regulate your breathing, there are cannabis beverages, there are cannabis edibles,
good
there are
segue.
cannabis,
Good plug,
you know,
buddy.
there are so many different applications
Yes.
of the plant now
Yeah.
that don't involve, you know, like smoking. I'm an old school smoker type of guy, so I like to roll up weed in a
Yes.
joint just like this one here.
It's a
in my
little
hand.
therapeutic, the
Yeah.
whole process.
You know, so a person, a connoisseur like Dan, obviously is very into the concentrates and brings the rigs and like, you know, he has
don't
his
play,
whole
man.
setup.
He
that thing
doesn't play. Look
literally
at that.
takes the temperature of that thing and lets him know when
Levels.
it's the
That's
precise time
Levels.
to
There's
take
levels
a
to
certain
this
type
shit.
of
Levels
dab.
to this.
So many different
Yes.
types of levels.
He's
But
like
then-
the Tesla of the weed smokers.
No, but when I first tried that, I was fucking blasted. But
Yeah.
the taste, to me, I tasted the plant. Like when you
Exactly.
eat a
And that's
fresh
what-
mango, or when the strawberries ripe,
The
and you're like,
terps,
oh
we
my
call those
god,
terps,
yes,
baby.
When it's delicious, it's delicious, and
You're right.
I didn't taste like fruit, but you get a clear taste or whatever the essence of the plant pretty much
100%.
is. Oh, and to me, it's mind-boggling. But then the percentage of that is different than flour.
Yeah.
So now we're on a different level.
Yeah, it
now
is.
we're on. This is.
But
this
that's
is
the
crazy.
cool thing, right, about
Yes.
cannabis is like there's so many different types of applications. You just got to find what works for you, or you know,
Yes.
find your specific dosage, or find your
Right.
specific, you know.
And that's what we know now. Like,
Yes.
can you imagine what we
We're
will
still
know in
learning.
like a few more years? Like,
The science.
yeah.
Can we hit
We
the
didn't
science button?
have dabs
Science.
before.
Do we have a science button?
Science.
No, we don't have a science button. No, yeah, right. We got to
We
do a
had-
science button.
That's what we're learning now, you know, as cannabis is becoming more normalized and like legalized, we're able to study it, you know, like we have evidence, you know, scientific evidence that this thing is helpful, you know, or this specific type of plant is helpful for this, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what's really important as well. And that's like, you know, really shines a light on the importance of education around this plant. You know,
education.
it's one thing to just, you know, smoke a doobie and whatever, but like to really know the different, what a specific strain is good for, you know, especially if you have a medical condition, or especially if you have, you know, just something going on and you need a specific type of relief.
Right.
You know, that's where the education comes from. You know, and
What
people.
was that? The Weeda kit where the moms, remember we tried it. They did it for what was it, epilepsy or something? The Rick Simpson oil.
Yep, exactly.
So to me, that changes the game.
Right.
Because now it's not about getting high or feeling wonky. No, you're helping not just the child or anybody.
A person. Be
Yes,
well.
a person.
Well-being.
Alleviate pain. Actually improve a
Instantly.
quality of life.
Like,
yeah.
almost instantly.
Like, whoa, wait a minute.
Almost.
Like now, let's put it on the table. Like this, okay, it's a medicine, man.
Yes.
In the right applications, in the right environment, you can use it as a medicine.
Exactly.
So, you guys, again, like Steve said, citizen science. It's what citizen?
Scientist,
Fucking
yeah.
scientist. Fucking, I'll remember it one day.
I forgot what I was saying.
Yes, I
Shout
wrote
out
it
to
down. I
Steve.
should have. Yes, shout out to Steve. I
should've
learned
read
so
it.
much. Oh my god. Oh my
I
god.
always value
That's-
these conversations.
So much
Yeah.
as a now, like him, I view all you guys as not only citizen scientists with a wealth and knowledge of information.
Jeez, you got it.
I got it. I nailed it. Yes. But also, like you said, educators. Educators.
Yeah.
There's a difference when, like,
that
yo,
very
I know
seriously.
something.
Yeah.
But we know people that learn and keep it to themselves. Like,
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not going to
Oh,
share
yeah.
that. Yo, this is mine. This is dibs.
Yeah,
This is what I'm not going
right.
to show you.
We can't be like that.
I got a one-up, and look at my buddies. Kind of,
Yeah.
look at him. He's struggling a little bit.
In
Nah, you
general.
guys are more open. When I ran with you, everyone was welcoming from the beginning, during the race, which is when someone's struggling during the run and you look over and you nod and someone's like, yo, come on, let's go. That can change you. That can
Yeah.
change your
Yeah.
perspective
Big
for
race.
whatever reason. That's
Felt
like
that.
secret serum, like whoop, I'm not tired anymore. And what it can be a blend of
That's
the
right.
cannabinoids or the weed or just the
Yeah.
helpfulness, whatever the symbiotic thing you said earlier is
Yeah.
it's the entourage effect or whatever that is. Wait a minute. And so now, again, changes the game. Now, you're not 7 anymore.
I'm not 7 anymore. I'm abusing the plant.
Yeah, you're not. We're learning.
It was abusing me, actually.
We're learning how to navigate, one, experimenting with ourselves, and then sharing that openly. And like when you're in a run, sharing positively, like, yo, that's dope. I want to run with you guys more because A, that makes me feel good. B,
There's
run
weed
faster.
involved.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. C, and then I run faster the time. You know what I mean? But yes, it's a multiple entourage effects. So when I heard about you guys and the Runners High Club, like, yo, yes, because it's not just smoke run. No, it's complex. There's more
levels to this shit.
There's levels to this. Dan knows. That's why Dan's like, yo, we got to get this going. We got it's so much.
It's
going.
just like overall wellness and well-being, you know, like health and wellness, you know,
community.
like it's so much more than just getting high, you know,
So
like
you guys both have like a wrestling belt that says health is wealth. No one really told you to promote it, but you guys are promoting it. Why?
Health as well. I think it's very needed.
so important.
Very, very important. And that's something that I lacked before. And thankfully, with Runners High, that's also motivated me to keep going, do better.
Accountability,
everything. It's just
Words.
the whole thing has helped me be a better person overall.
Wow.
It's humbled me. Literally, running literally humbles the fuck out of you.
Ooh, yes, it does.
It's like you and yourself, literally,
Say that
as you're
again.
running.
One more time. Yes.
You pass up whatever you pass up people, they pass you up. Everybody's like you versus you right now. And with the community cleanups, that's another thing that has helped me just stay humble. Like, I don't think people understand the amount of times I gag as I'm cleaning, some of this trash up. Like, even like, picking up syringes. Like, I'm just like this. I can't believe this is at a park where children
kids
should be
play.
playing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's horrible.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, we run through this.
Gut-wrenching.
We can't ignore it. Like, it's there. And what are we going to do about it? And so we took the initiative, and it's helped us, I think, all like even build a stronger community, like just being, doing it together and like practically, stating that's okay. Like it's good to give back. It's good to be you.
It's funny, sometimes we run into people that still have a negative perception of us based on our consumption of this plant, right? But then, like you think about it and you think about what we are doing. Like, yes, we're consuming cannabis, but we're also doing so much more. We're doing these community cleanups in, other communities aside from just the ones we live. We're trying to spread this all around the city, and we're trying to like address this problem everywhere and just hope that people will join us. The health and wellness events, like having open mental health discussions, just period, but also about as it pertains to us as cannabis consumers as well. We're just, literally like inspiring and motivating people to be their better selves, through cannabis or with cannabis,
And that's if they decide to use cannabis.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
But the biggest thing is like breaking that stigma.
100%.
Whether you're a cannabis consumer or not. And, I think we've done that very well. I think that like we don't ask much in return. Like, I think what we're getting already is more than enough. Like, who would have thought that we'd be running with 20 plus people on a weekly basis?
To be a year in,
kind of, we didn't even know how big the running community in Chicago was. Until we started being a part of it. And
they're looking at you like, look at these fucking runners.
No, we still
stoned ass motherfuckers. We've been running 40 years.
No, that's real. But like at the end of the day, like, dude, my runners are putting up the miles just like anybody else. Some of my guys are running 100 miles, 200. Literally, a couple guys ran 200 miles in a month last month. going absolutely crazy.
Going
100 miles a month,
crazy.
easy. You know, like we're putting numbers on the board too. Like, we smoke weed, but like we're still, you know,
It's like you
there's so
said,
many-
breaking that stigma.
Yeah, well,
Right.
that I was gonna say
That's we don't-
that beckons putting out our motto, which is get lit,
Yes,
get
I have-
fit,
yes.
and break the stigma.
One more
Yep.
time. I love that. I
Say
love
what you
that. I
Say
I
pero
love that.
sexy. Say pero sexy.
I'm sorry, but
En
I love
español,
that.
por favor.
I love that on so many levels.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like your Batman. Say it right now, bro. Say it.
Get lit, get fit, and break the stigma.
Bars.
Bars, yeah.
We out here.
We're gonna
That's
break
the
that up.
energy.
We're gonna make a commercial and everything.
Yeah.
We'll do all that one clip.
Runners
High
Chicago.
That's gonna be your slogan.
This is your brain.
The dopest
This
run
is your
club
brain
in the
on
game.
drugs.
The
Oh yeah.
only
Yes.
420 run
Ooh.
club in the game.
The first.
Okay,
the
let me say
first.
that much.
Oh shit!
Let me give a-
Put some respect
Yes.
on the name. Yeah.
Right. Put
It's
some
just
respect.
finishers be done.
This is us putting a flag out there. If there are any stoner runners listening to this, come through. Come run with runners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come fly with runners high
They're
shot.
putting the
I
beacon
got,
out there.
I got little slogans for days.
Oh,
guys.
I love
shit!
it.
You're a
Marketing
slogan
wizard.
man, bro.
I
The
came
That's
up
slogan.
that
with
business in you. That's the
Yeah.
business, man. But
Yeah.
speaking of business, both of you guys, without bringing up your job, because I'll probably get Men in Black flashy thing in '98. Yeah, for real. Like, I'm not even gonna say. Both of you guys are professionals, you know. So again,
Yeah.
to break that stigma, you and your job, professional. This man built a business from scratch. He's a businessman, and to take, I don't think any of you guys are lazy.
No,
to so instantly
Fuck no.
break that,
Lazy
shatter
who?
that. Exactly.
Right.
You
Yeah.
guys are parents, responsible. You have multiple things going on. You wear multiple hats. So instantly, I think it's not only breaking the stigma, it's kind of reversing it. Like, to me,
Right.
Yeah.
fitness, from what you said earlier, hey, was that your experience, or was that from what you heard? And I said, that's what I heard. So what do people hear? Wait,
So,
no, no.
two different things.
Two different things. Now, what we're experiencing, no, there's benefits, there's positives. You can
Yeah.
make it. There's the negatives. No. Now, let's go this way. There's positives,
And that's-
benefits.
That right there is like science, experimentation,
Yes.
figuring out
Yes,
what
exactly.
works for you, like
Yes.
just I'm not over here saying like, oh, just give it a shot, but like, if you're curious about it or whatever, like, educate yourself and see for yourself what works for you. Like we even though we are a cannabis run club, it's not a requirement that you consume cannabis,
That's
and it's not
beautiful.
even a requirement that you run. We
That's
have
beautiful.
friends that come and walk,
Yeah.
and like it's more so about the community, and it's more so about just being open and authentic about who you are, period. But especially like when you focus the lens a little more in your identity of being a cannabis consumer, there's a culture to this. There's
Yeah.
I don't even think it's a subculture anymore. It's not that it's mainstream just yet, but the cannabis culture is alive and well, and we're trying to reach people that at least maybe are curious about getting in touch with their physical and mental health. I know, like I said, the lonely stoner thing. A lot of people feel like that community isn't out there, but we're out there.
We out here.
And we're not the only ones, but like in Chicago in the run community, and especially doing more things for the community, like we're pretty unique in that, right? And that's where our power lies, and like we're gonna continue to build, like now that we are gonna reach this milestone of reaching a year and looking back in all the dope shit that we've done in 365 days, like all right, what's next?
As a businessman, as a father,
Yes, exactly.
as a so I think that's very important to touch on, because I myself too, as a professional, this is something that I don't really talk about. I have a 9 to 5.
I'm so curious as well. Like, I have so many questions. I probably ask you.
You need to interrogate me.
One, from my perspective, you partake.
I do partake.
Quite a
I was
bit.
just partaking right now.
Exactly. And then, from my rough guesstimate, okay, you partake quite regularly. So the tolerance is, you run to again.
You got questions.
I got questions. I want to know, like,
How
is
much
your
I
jo-
partake?
No.
Oh.
Is your job okay with it, or do they even test? But then I don't want to get into it because flashy thingy. No. No.
We could
Yeah,
talk
but-
offline about that, but I
Yeah.
mean, for the most part, just like any other job, and you see it for yourself, like they're drug testing.
Yes.
They're, you know, till
Hence,
this
I'm
day.
curious.
As this is,
I
you
don't
know,
want to incriminate you.
now I'm the criminal. No, but yeah, I mean, you know, and also like being a mother, like people look at me differently. You know, as soon as they know, it's like, wait. And you know, I don't want to pat myself on the back that hard, but you know, I try to be a good mom. So it's like
You crush it.
I trust
At
that
being
shit.
a mom, I'm gonna say that.
You know, there's levels to the shit.
Ooh, bars.
That's that runner support right there.
Right?
See?
There you go.
Yes.
Cap over here.
Yes.
Not capping.
Yes.
Always give this person her flowers.
Good,
Aw,
man.
thank
See?
you, thank you.
You need people like that.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, no, it's like it is really hard to do, but I feel like it's very very necessary. I know a lot of people that are very, you know, they hide that from themselves. Like, you know, I don't want to say they're ashamed, but people look at them differently, and it's like, you know, I get it because I was there before. Again, as a professional, as a mom, as a woman, a Latina, you know, there's just so many. Thank you. There's just so many, you know, ways people look at you, and I wear these many hats, and yeah, I do partake, and yeah, I do get all that shit done, and yeah, I am fucking badass.
That's my questions, but I know we'll talk more later. But you have to juggle more, you know? That's what I think.
Oh my god.
Which makes it a little bit more difficult in
Definitely.
my eyes, you know?
Yep.
So to me, again, to bounce back, the flowers are there just because to do that on a more difficult level and still be able to be on top of the run, on top of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know. Like I said, I'll always give this person her flowers. Like, it's so cool to be in community with someone like this.
Flowers.
Like I don't know. Honestly, even like if we hadn't done this together, Runner's High probably wouldn't have happened, you know. And like, it's amazing how beautifully
Facts.
this all has come together, you know, like how it all just happened organically, and like literally we have a crew of like 20 plus like solid runners, you know, that come through, and they're just family, you know, and it's like it's always such a great vibe, and it's beautiful, you know. And like we've done events where it's like 50 people come and hang, and it's always just incredible, you know. Like it just shows the need for this type of community, you know. Like we are definitely onto something here, you know, and like we just hope to bring more people into this community, and you know, like even branch out one day eventually. That would be great, you know, because
And I just want to add how intentional we are with what we're doing. You know, like we're not just getting together and like just hosting something for you know, revenue. We're not. We're really like trying to give back and provide these type of events, and like provide these type of clubs that people you know, can't find or don't have, because literally the first 420 we run club, you know what I mean?
Yo.
That's dope.
So
literally,
Yeah. But I'm bumps. I think Freddie tagged me in the picture where you had the sweater. You had the chronic one.
oh yes, the chronic one.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh shit. He's like, oh, you got to meet her. So when they had the run at the again, memory,
Nice,
chronic. There you go. Thank you. At the Cure Leaf, you guys hosted an amazing event. Everything, the food, there was a yoga. It was so, again, my first experience with your guys is mind blowing. Again, over the top. Not even over the top.
Just right.
Just like, oh,
Just right.
Everything was like,
On
yes,
point.
yes,
Right.
exactly.
I
Good,
love
better
that.
words.
We appreciate that.
Because for me, that's pretty much how you would do it. If you want to warm up the body, run, and then afterwards you cool down, stretch, eat, and then commune with everyone. Like, that whole experience was beautiful.
The wake and bake.
Yes, the wake and bake,
Right.
everything. I love, me personally, on an empty stomach going for a run or workout,
that's
and then
incredible.
eat.
Yes.
To me, in my head, I earned it. Yes,
Yeah.
it tastes so much better. Like, yes, but to do that with the community again, that all share that same kind of vibes, and like, whoa,
Wow.
Encourage one another.
I love what you guys are doing. Yeah.
Thank you.
And the
That's-
whole thing is
Beautiful.
health and wealth on multiple levels, not just
100%.
physically, but mentally. And
Mentally.
mentally, we're learning as humans. It's very complex, and yo, we're opening these doors, and people like you, we need people like you.
You need people like you.
Dan,
yeah.
you have any questions, sir? I know that brains. Okay, here you go. I'm a little high right now.
I'm a lotto high right now.
It's wild because my last question was, I was going to say moments of intention because of cannabis. So I love that you already said moments of intention. What was your first? Was it the rolling tray Chicago parking ticket? That's your first idea come to life? Is that correct?
No, I've had so many projects.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
Yeah, but that was one of my favorites for
Yeah,
sure.
I got one of them in the car, dude.
Dude, you don't leave it in the car because of the heat. Resin.
I know. I learned the lesson.
You learned your lesson, huh? You were freaking out, huh?
Wobbly.
But then I put it in a bookshelf, put weight on it,
Yeah.
and it's back to normal.
Oh, good. So that project was one of my favorites. Obviously, for somebody that consumes and you live in Chicago, typically it's the norm to like get tickets here in Chicago, like whether you park or you speed or whatever, right? You get that orange ticket and it sticks around in your car.
PTSD,
and then,
the PTSD.
dude, the PTSD, literally.
Yeah.
I'm cringing right now. You have it in your car, and then when you're trying to roll up, of course you use it as a tray, right?
Yeah.
Am I not right?
Facts.
Everybody does it.
Factual.
And you're just like, fuck it, I guess I got a rolling tray. So what I did was I put it in resin and made it a rolling tray. So yeah, you could see the parking ticket. Yeah. It's nice. It's laid out. It's the perfect size.
And then you put your tag on it.
I put I spelled out AK-47.
Yeah.
That's my brand. And but that's, one of many. I've done a lot of shirts. I've done a lot of by myself and with collaborations with other artists. Shout out them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I've done, keychains, gibbets. I went there, for the Crocs.
Right.
Yo, first 420 gibbet.
Yeah.
Thank you. Brought to you by
go.
AK-47. And, I love to get creative with it. And then I started doing like hosting events and stuff like that. Again, I feel like even my merch was very intentional. I grew up without any of that, and I always was a consumer. So I would wear like ASAP Rocky shirts. I would wear Taylor Gang with Khalifa shirts. And, that was my representation of like, as a consumer, like this is what I wear. Yeah, this is my identity. And so when I had made my first shirt, it was great. Everything was awesome. That one, like I actually made it because I was going to the Cannabis Cup in Michigan. And we had just legalized recreational marijuana. I was like, fuck yeah, I need a rep. Like, I want to go to Michigan. I want to rep my set. Like,
Yes.
We just made that. We just legalized that. And so I designed something. I had a friend, Cooley, shout out Cooley, bring it to life. And I slapped it on a shirt and people fucked with it. And that's when I realized like, oh shit, people don't have this, and it was so cool to just hear that people like wanted the shirt, that bought the shirt, that like wore the shirt all summer. Like I was getting videos of people wearing my shirt in like
The one with the city and the blunt.
yes, Windy City. Ooh. So I put the skyline with the blunt coming out through the middle of the skyline, being a part of the skyline, super Chicago.
I took that motherfucker to Denver one time.
Yes, you did. Oh my God.
Beautiful, bro.
That shirt has been in Denver, Mexico, California. Like I'm talking about, it's been out here.
Traveled.
It has traveled. Amsterdam.
The message has traveled.
The message was there, and it was a Chicago, shirt. And I'm like, I love that. And I was like, okay, I gotta do this. Mm-hmm. And that's where AK-47 came in. And I feel like even with that, I've been very intentional, very Chicago based, very, cannabis. Everything is cannabis related, stuff like that. So that goes with the events, that goes with the running club. And yeah, I think that's very important in this industry. Mm-hmm. The education part of it and the intention part of it is 100%. Big. Mm-hmm.
So much of what we're doing right now is like us painting a picture of what's possible with cannabis, how we can utilize it in a certain way. Are there inspirations that you had either early or right now that you're looking at that, serve as your quality control that you want to make sure, okay, I'm putting out things at this level? Is there, just people that obviously, like we're saying, we're all each other's role. I mean, I'm definitely, y'all are my role models. So, who are your role models if we're thinking outside of our general area? Where certainly there's those big names, but just ones that you would like that resonate with you and the people that your fan base as well, kind of people you're following.
You want to go ahead or no? Okay. Well, I do have a few people that I tend to look at, and they do inspire me. Like, I feel like many people inspire me. I mean, even people in my run, everybody in my run club and everybody who has been there, like, inspire me to be there. So, I mean, in different ways, different people. But I think, like, my biggest role model, I have two, and they're actually younger than me, are my children.
Oh,
yeah. I think they...
I tell you the feels. I told you since the beginning in the feels.
The feels. Yeah, I brought the feels with me today. But no, I mean, this is some real shit. Like, they are my role models. And because I know that they're going to grow up to be, an adult. They're going to be people. They're part of the society, right? And I just want them to make the right decisions and be a great part of society. I want them to love themselves. I want them to be, be themselves. And that's who I am. So by, having them do that, I have to do that for myself too. So yeah, I think they are definitely like my number one role models.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I've loved about both of you, that your connection with children and everything that you do and incorporate with them and these adventures you guys go into, that's like inspirational, and that's like,
hey, but
honestly,
same with you though.
Yeah, no,
shout
yeah.
out to you.
It's full circle because it comes from you. Yeah. Seeing your guys doing stuff makes me want to do stuff. Sometimes I don't do some stuff. Like
seeing your trips makes me want to travel.
Exactly. So sometimes I go a time where we honestly we just sit at home sometimes. Yeah. And then you realize when you see a video like you guys, like, yo, well, we haven't gone outside. We haven't gone to see the sun or some shit like that.
They're friendly reminders.
Yeah.
Of what things could be. I love. That's why I feel like I'm very transparent on Instagram, because I'm like, I'm just gonna friendly remind y'all asses that y'all should go for a run or y'all should talk to your children. But no, these are like they really are friendly reminders. Like, I'm not here to one up anybody.
Yes,
I really love, because I didn't have that. I didn't see that growing up. So thankfully I didn't become that. And there is people that see that and become that, and they don't realize. And then you just put those friendly reminders out there, and it just clicks. I feel like, and I think that's what has, helped me be a little more transparent and not really care. Yeah.
I remember that time that we ran, and then we went to you were having a cookout.
Yeah.
Remember?
You had a
I had a cookout. Oh yeah, at my house.
Yeah. So I remember that day, and it was we came in a little late, but we came in. We saw everybody. Everybody was there. Oh, I forget. Even C's was there.
Oh yeah, gang pulled up.
Yes, your sister was there. And so there was a lot of people there, and it was just people. Again, sometimes you see your people's stories, and like when you meet them again and again, it's like these are who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
After you meet them repeatedly, so seeing them again was like beautiful. Seeing you guys was amazing.
Refreshing, huh?
I've been in the east side, and I've been over here involved a lot, so I don't get to involve myself too much over here. And if there's some kind of like not in that it's planned like that, but it's some kind of a split-ish,
Yeah,
it's
one
split.
far from another.
It's a different communities. Yeah. So I love that everything's connecting, and I'm able to like, yo, look at this over here. Hey, look at this over here, and show each other like how much love there is all around. And people like Dan, I'm thankful that he's also able to put those outlets out there for other people to get perspective of each other,
Dan the man.
I was just gonna,
But damn, what the fuck?
I forgot what I was saying.
Go ahead.
I lost
No,
it.
you lost it. No, you got it. You got it.
All right, Dan, pick it up, Dan.
Oh shit, bro.
See that? Fuck.
Fucking Dan, dude.
Pick it up. Pick it up.
Pineapples.
My bad. What I was gonna say was, I think, kind of along with your themes, man. I feel like it's like I was gonna say, I feel like we're like relieving generational traumas. I feel like you're all doing that.
Yes,
So it's
I
like
felt that shit.
Para el Dolor is like we're a generation that's healing that through fitness, art, and cannabis. So it's
That's
like,
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to go back to like answer that question that you had asked previously. AK gave a really beautiful answer to that, and obviously I have a son too, and he's definitely someone I aspire to. But like when I think about like role models per se, like honestly, I'm a little hard pressed to say I have tons of role models because like I'm doing something that's still taboo or different, or like not many people, especially people that look like me, especially people in my family, would even think to do this, type of thing. Like there aren't very many entrepreneurs in my family, and B, there aren't many cannabis people or cannabis entrepreneurs, so like I'm kind of like blazing a whole different trail kind of but still trying to fucking figure it all out, right? Like this business that I've created, it's still being built, the story's still being written, and then the new chapter of like Runner's High, like it's great, like I feel so honored to where like my life has kind of evolved from like that dark negative past with cannabis to now like literally like leading a community of people to like be their better selves, like through this plant, like bringing access.
Por el dolor.
Yeah, for real. Healing. And that, like Dan was saying, like, healing, like there's a lot of healing that has happened within me, and like that, I'm trying to spread to other people, and just like that cannabis can help that, or like, fitness can help that, or just movement in general, it doesn't have to be running. It doesn't have to be anything, like
disc golf.
Yeah, anything, literally, just moving your body.
We're getting there, Freddie.
Yeah.
Don't worry, long game.
But yeah, just like being intentional with with your movement and moving your body with your well-being in mind. Like that's what, it's not such a crazy thought, but that's really what we're out here trying to promote. Just like riding off of the success and the momentum from our 420 run, like
nice.
that was our first 420 as a run group. We just started last June. So we'd had this idea, just like any of the other things, just like the yogas or just like the health is wealth, these are just ideas, but instead of like just talking about it, we put them into action. So similarly with the 420 run, like it would be cool for there to be a run that's 4.2 miles, and then it's like any other 5K that you see, because like, I don't know if we mentioned, but there's obviously like the double standard, right? That cannabis is bad and you shouldn't blah blah blah, but yeah, alcohol is served at every race that I remember fucking ran.
Burn.
And it's like, how does that
Treat it.
make sense?
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense, like through my business and just in general, like I always like to let it be known, or like literally just state the fact, because when people hear it, they're like, huh. And it's like, alcohol is poison, cannabis is medicine. Not many people see it that way, though. Almost like the vast majority don't see it that way.
Yeah.
But that's where the education needs to come into, especially, with my, my business of elevated cocktails and doing the cannabis cocktails. You can still have a good time and have a delicious beverage or whatever, but it doesn't have to be alcoholic. Yeah. It doesn't even need to be cannabis infused. It's just a delicious beverage, and you get the experience. You feel included. It's the inclusivity part of it. You don't necessarily have to prescribe to anything, kind of just like customizing that experience per guest, but just
But it's something to be, to me, I think, with the way you're doing it is the best way, because you're giving another person another way to connect to it. So instead of having wine, like maybe have a time in the month where you go out with your girls, with your guys, go out and have these cannabis drinks. and experience something different.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think we need to change those. We always do the same thing. We're always in
100%.
routine, and now that
It's just customary.
where us as this generation is being experiencing that we is cool. There's ways to enjoy it. I think these are important outlets for everybody to have, because what if this will have somebody be like change their mind, their whole thing about drinking, and be like, let me try this out.
Yeah.
And maybe once they're introduced to that, now their way of being is like, yo, this is pretty normal. Instead of drinking a bunch of alcohol, instead of drinking alcohol all the time,
And being hungover and
Yes.
dehydrated.
I mean,
let me try this route. It's very therapeutic.
because for myself, like I come from the beer and liquor industry, you know, like alcohol was just a part of my daily routine because it was my job, it was my career. And so came the consumption of it, because consumption of alcohol and alcohol culture is just so prevalent or prominent in our society. But like I was very unhealthy, like I was the unhealthiest I had ever really been, having been in the beverage industry. And like when COVID hit, I was out of that arena, and like kind of that helped almost completely cut alcohol out of my daily routine. And that's when I kind of leaned heavier into cannabis, and that's when I launched my cannabis business that summer of that year. And I just like I almost never drink nowadays, or I drink alcohol, it just doesn't really fit in with my lifestyle anymore. And I think there's a lot of people that are also on that wave, especially like
Absolutely.
trying or not trying, but having inserted myself in the spaces that I've been in. There's a lot of people like that are more cannabis consumers than alcohol consumers, and like they really don't even want to drink alcohol, but sometimes they'll have one just because it's
Social.
so exactly. But like
Peer pressure.
yeah, I always remember there was a good friend of mine, Gina. There was an event where she was kind of like lurking, for lack of a better word, near the bar, and I was like, what's up? What can I get you? She's like, I'm not really drinking tonight. And I'm just like, okay, do you just not want alcohol? She's like, yeah, but I forget if she wanted weed. I don't even think she wanted a weed beverage. She was like, no, I just, I don't want. I got to drive, or I can only be here for a little bit. Whatever she was like, and I was like, okay, so you don't want alcohol and you don't want cannabis, but you still want a delicious beverage, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Gave her the whole
Gotcha.
experience, the garnish, and bam.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, okay, thanks. Delicious beverage, because if you don't know, up elevated cocktails are
I want to footnote, something. Go ahead.
but yeah, and she like was so like, wow, that was great, like you customized that experience for me. I didn't want this, but I still wanted to be included. I still wanted, and like that goes a long way for people. And like it's all super intentional. It's not that I'm just trying to get you high. It's just like whatever the experience that you want to have is. I'm trying to help you have that. If I can make that happen through a delicious beverage, whether it has alcohol or cannabis or whatever, like that's what it's all about. Is like really just creating that like connection with people. And and that really goes all the way goes back to like community and education.
Levels to the
Exactly.
shit.
It's about more than just getting high.
Shit.
So much more.
Just the thought of just impacting one person in that way, and changing the way they are
And how they felt.
and how they felt about it, or how they should portray drinking in general. That's the beauty, that you can at least change one person's mind where they might go that route and help them out. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
I'll share a story with you. I think the first time I met you was at a 93 event, I believe. And me and Fred, I think that's one of the first times we were vending there. I think that's the one. I forgot the event name. But we had a table. We kind of set up like in 5 minutes. We just put a little shawl over. And then you're setting up next to us. Like, oh, you just had a few things. Like, oh, you need some help?
Nest Fest.
Was it?
It's Nest Fest.
Was it Nest Fest?
It's coming up again. Yeah, he did Nest
It's
Fest.
Okay, my bad.
We in there.
Chronic. Yeah, but I think that was one of our first times. And you were setting up next to us, and you had like 37 pieces of heavy ass wood. And I'm like, what is this man setting up?
It's 5.
It was more than 5.
Because that was close.
Maybe 6.
So I'm like, yo, what is this man building? So he had a nice little, it was a nice heavy wood table, and I'm like, this is again, I don't know you, but I'm just helping you out. Set up this table in my head, like, what is this guy building? A table, literally a whole table, and I'm like, in my head, you're just slaying it. And again, no disrespect to you, in my head, I thought you were just making drinks. Like my experience was, you made some drinks, you're gonna sell them. You had a whole experience, the whole table, you were an actual like. Not a bartender. It was
Budtender. No, budtender.
It was a no. I say
he's
like,
a mixologist.
Yes, that's a better word because he
mixologist.
gave multiple options. You can have your dosages, and then your multiple flavors. I think you had 3 or 4 different options, and then you had like the potletas. My mind was like, bro. And then to piggyback off of what you said earlier, the actual drink was delicious. It was it was fresh fruit. It was well made. I have a picture. We'll pull it up. And one was purple. I had to buy the purple one, and one was like another mango one, and then you had like 2 or 3 different other ones. So the whole by itself, delicious. It's infused, and then I asked you about the infusion process. So I was curious. I'm like, like Dan, quality. You are a scientist. You dive deep. You're like, I thought you were just gonna do something different. Again, mind blown. Experience was like, whoa. It was a scientist's approach to this is what I'm doing. Yeah. I really put my heart and soul into professional. Yeah. But also I put my heart and soul into it. Yeah. Right. Because the drinks were delicious on multiple levels, and then you broke down the science of the dosages. This is what I recommend and everything. So it was a whole experience ensemble. And I'm
bro,
like,
he turns into Rico Suave when he's in bartender mode.
He was like, yeah, man, whoa, and I'm like, yo,
he got the fit.
It's a legit show.
He talking to you while he's doing all this shit. Like, he's so professional, bro. He could talk to you and do this. And then pour your drink and be like, fuck that bitch. Still be in the conversation,
Míralo.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
He's all in the combo.
You put on a whole, like, it was a whole dope experience, right, man. Yeah, so I loved
him
that.
his flowers.
And then, I was a fan ever since, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. The fresh fruit, the whole cannabis, the whole education,
it's all very intentional, bro. Yeah. Like, you know,
no
like
syrup, he said.
It wasn't like crap. It wasn't quickly infused by Everclear, and you just mixed the Tahitian treat or something. Yeah, people did that. That's what I was kind of used to. That's nah, I'm straight. But no, I asked, no, connoisseur. You knew what you were talking about. You over knew what you were talking about. You knew you beyond knew you were, again, citizen scientist.
Yeah.
Yes.
He
did it again.
I'm done for the night. You knew what you were doing, and then the passion showed, man.
A bit, you know, like I feel like that highlights the word hospitality, and where like that's, you know, really a wave in cannabis, you know, that really, or the niche or the lane that I'm trying to fill, you know. It's like, it's not just about giving you weed or giving you free weed. Like, it's about like letting, you know, educating you on what this is and how, you know, whatever it just, you know, or just however you need that information, you know. I recognize that there's a lot of people that are new to cannabis or are, you know, coming back to cannabis now that it's being legalized and it's not like a bad thing or illegal or taboo thing anymore per se, and they want to delve into it. You know, like to be able to do that via beverage, you know, like I feel like there's a lot of people that don't want to smoke because of their lungs or, you know, the smell or whatever it might be. For me, being a seasoned cannabis consumer, like the dabs and all that stuff is maybe just a little too, you know, much or too scientific or whatever, you know. I feel like almost everybody's had a negative experience with edibles just because of how, you know, inconsistent or how, you know, like varied dosages can be and like homemade things like that. So,
extraction,
you know,
process,
like
everything.
I feel like
crazy.
with beverage, it's a unique opportunity because people are so accustomed to drinking beverages on a, you know, that's what we do in our society. So to be able to introduce cannabis in that form and like really kind of like I said, customize that experience. Like if you're a new consumer, you're not going to get a very high dose, you know, like it's very like, you know, figuring out what each individual person's experience is or tolerance is and like working towards that, but also still trying to set a standard, you know,
Right.
Even someone that can consume 100 milligrams in a sitting or whatever, it's like, I'm not going to give you 100 milligrams. So you're going to get 5 milligrams just because that's what my cocktails are based at, you know.
Right.
Like, it's just like a cocktail at a bar, or, you know, there's a serving size for beer, there's a serving size for alcohol, there's a serving size for wine, you know, like,
Right.
and that's the standard. So like,
Yeah.
really what I'm trying to do is like set that standard, you know, or like, or you know, just create that lane. And like once it's something that we're able to do and have consumption lounges, you know, like I will have been serving
lounges.
yeah,
Yes.
that's where I'm at. Mark my words, set it here within the next 5 years.
Yo.
Up Elevated Cocktail Lounge.
I
Yes.
already
Fuck
got
with
it.
it.
Well, there will be at the ribbon pinning.
Yeah,
Yup, we're
let's
there.
get it.
Something
In
that,
there.
from an outside perspective, from seeing everybody and all you guys do, I've loved how you connect to the beverages and the cannabis. How he does it with edibles.
Yeah.
It's funny that you brought up edibles because a lot of people just hit these strong edibles and just have a bad time and this and that.
Yeah.
My friend here, if you ever have the senso beans, man, they're the perfect mellow. Oh my God! It's just like it's like you said, like your beverage, a nice little dosage.
Yeah.
It's nice enough to you to like therapeutic
Functional.
and like you get to chill, like something after work.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, you know, like a beer after work kind of feeling, you know, something like that.
The
He
yin to the yang.
he's
Instead of a beer
he's such a
after
big
work.
fan of that he made ice cream, purple ice cream, in one of the events.
Yeah, it was ube. Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I'm loving the connection and the different ways of people that are
Yes.
that are in the cannabis and the studying and the finding out what's this and what's that, and that we were even talking about it so people know that there is this and there is that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I
And that's what
love
it's all
that.
about.
Yes,
you know?
yes, yeah.
Introducing a different form of
Exactly.
consumption, because it can still help so many people,
Right.
but they just have to figure out in what way and what for. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
that's crazy.
Well,
That's
I
awesome.
think to really piggyback off of that, like you guys, if it's considered a medicine, you gotta kind of treat it with care. You know, you can't, like you said, you guys, there can be a level of abuse, or at least for me, in my perspective, you want to give people a good introduction, like you. There's a certain, like, yo, if you're gonna be a connoisseur or a what's the word, like chauffeur, you're
A steward.
a steward of
I like
this
to say
information.
I'm trying to be
there
a
you
good
go.
steward of the
exactly.
plant.
That's a perfect word. So like that, you don't. If someone that never had cannabis before, you don't want to give them a strong dose because
Yeah.
they'll probably have a bad experience.
And that's, you know, like, I always kind of harken back to the importance of like education and how much
Exactly.
of that I do through my experience with, especially Up Elevated Cocktails, but also through Runner's High as well. You know, like I always just try to be a resource. Like, you know, it's funny, like this is what my experience is in, so that's why people come to me with questions now or whatever. Or like if I can spread this knowledge with whomever, you know, like earlier we were talking about knowledge and you said something that people like to like hoard knowledge, and it's like I'm the exact opposite, you know, like I feel that knowledge should be shared and knowledge should be free, you know, and like especially about anything in general, but especially as it pertains to this plant and its healing properties. And like, you know, yeah, we're out here doing the work of destigmatizing and demystifying and like, you know, doing all this work to try to normalize this plant, you know, like that's a genuine
But I think it's because we come from we're coming from a different journey, right? Like there's people that are in the industry and they are, they tend to hold that information in and or make it harder for other people to even be a part of it. And it's like, I thought we're, trying to break the stigma as a community here, right?
Yeah.
You would think. But it is what it is. But thankfully we find people like everybody in this table where we have the same morals, we have the same, we're going through different journeys, but they're healthy ones, and we're trying to,
We're just aligned.
motivate. Yeah, we're aligning or motivating each other, inspiring each other, which is awesome. Like you guys, like I said, this is a super dope podcast. Por el Dolor, I feel like we got a lot of we dropped a lot of gems that came from pain, right? At some point in our lives. And
You get it.
we get it.
Shouts out to you.
Thank you, man.
And so, it feels good to be able to talk about this and share it with other people. So
This is
thank
my
you for
first
shedding
time.
the light.
Well, aside from last week when I spoke briefly with Steve, you guys are my first podcast.
I
This
don't-
is pretty
oh,
cool.
yeah.
man.
So dope.
Yes,
I remember
thank you.
like 40% of that conversation.
Oh, shit.
Dan.
Y'all
Yeah,
abused the
yo.
plant.
No. Well,
Por el Dolor.
I wasn't prepared for Dan's like cooking expertise skills, and
fuck.
there was a lot of partaking, and my brain was
It was for science.
Yes.
We had a science.
Because of science?
yes,
It was an experiment because there was a scientist present.
yes,
Oh,
and
okay.
luckily,
Shout out Steve. That's my guy.
It's an experiment.
So the whole experiment was recorded. We made sure it was recorded. So
No, that's good.
Yes. Re-listening back is always good. But you guys, again, piggyback everything. I love the whole vibes, educating, sharing, aligning. So I would love to put you guys in touch with the studio artists in '93.
Oh, 93
I think
Studios.
if you ever want to host anything locally, south, want to
Shout out
branch
them.
out, absolutely.
nice.
Because I
Shout
think
out to
again,
them. Yeah.
all you guys have a very similar mindset, vision, overall health is wealth. For whatever you're wearing that belt, all you guys are
Pure love.
like ninjas. That's your code.
Thank you.
That's for whatever reason. That's your
It's our
code.
creed.
Yeah, that's the creed. And for whatever reason, everybody that kind of follows that creed, if you guys get together now,
Unity.
Rather than later, yeah.
she can change. She can move. You can
Yeah.
you can build
Move the
the.
needle.
That's what's necessary. Is like the strength in numbers.
Yes.
Or like I said, if I would have remained that lonely stoner and only smoked weed and ran by myself and never really integrated with AK,
Yeah.
like none of this shit would have happened. But look at what
Butterfly
happens
effect.
when you just literally just take that leap of faith or whatever. And so
Yeah,
we're just
thank
trying to
you.
encourage more people to tap
Do
in
that, yeah. Tap in.
for themselves, really.
Ooh, that part.
See, for
For
days.
themselves.
Yeah, we do this for y'all. I'll just say it's kind of a lot of work to run club, but like it's so dope. Like
It is so
the people
dope.
that are a part of our community. Like people like Dan, people like yourselves. We all.
I want to get jumped in. You guys got to jump in. So I want to be a part of the run club. Man.
Yes, we go 1, 2, 3 race.
Let me go. Oh, okay. I'm in, man. I love it. I really like how you said kind of to when you were in a funky state, running, like, yo, that kind of gave me the showed me something. And not only did it help you shared that information openly, and you had something similar. And what is the running club? I bet you all of those people that are running have very similar stories. And when all that positive juice, all that juju comes together, like, oh, something magical happens. Like when running together, something magical happens,
Yeah.
and it's a powerful, like you can run faster, you can run longer, it's the whole communal. There's something powerful in that. And you guys are learning, bringing it together, pioneers, and it's beautiful to see.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
I just
Yeah.
want to say that.
Student teachers.
Yeah, exactly.
Student teachers, definitely.
Yeah, student
definitely.
teachers.
Learning, constantly learning,
Learning
but not only learning, like you guys, like deeply learning, mastering, kind of learning everything, and then openly teaching with no hesitation. Both of you guys share that.
Yes.
It's
And
about
what we tend to do too, like every Saturday morning, we check in before our runs, and it like just shows us like where we're at, that morning. And we've connected with a lot of people, and a lot of people have shared very personal things, like whether it's like how their week has been or how their morning has been. And like we do, we still show up. We still show up, and it's like we're deciding to not just dwell in our pain.
Yeah,
We're
or make
showing up for
excuses.
ourselves. Yeah, it's us versus us in that bitch.
or it's like life be life, and I know you guys know about that.
Yeah.
But like there's even people that are like you know, this is that run club is their happy place, you know, like this is like where they come to just let go of all the stress or all the, you know, negativity or bullshit from their week or from work or whatever it might be, and they can just like tap back in with their community. They can elevate themselves and, you know, get their body moving, which is obviously going to make you feel good. Something we didn't talk about, which was I feel like should be necessary, and I think we talked about it last week, but that runner's high feeling, you know, that's a cannabinoid response, you know. We didn't really talk about the science of cannabis today, but we had that conversation with Steve. But like, you know, that runner's high feeling, it literally makes you feel good, you know, like, and that's a cannabinoid response in your body. And so to pair that with, you know, the community aspect and all these other things, like, it's just something that so many people look forward to, myself included, you know, like,
it can be a very therapeutic experience.
Yeah. And especially having the community, it's so great. Like, I was running with the crew last night, and like we were getting a trail running, and as the sun was setting, it was awesome, you know.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, shout out the gang, man. Runners High. Runners High Shy, bro.
Yo, shout out to gang.
Without further ado, Fred, do you have anything? I like how we keep using it.
No, just thank you for your guys' time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for educating us. Thank you for educating anybody that would listen.
Yeah. Thank you for giving us this platform, man.
Dan the man, thank you for hosting us
Dan
in
the
this
man,
beautiful made upstairs.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes the train.
Shout out to Made
There
Gallery.
goes the train. This is a beautiful spot.
Shout out to Nate Gallery,
Yo,
the
thank
homie.
you,
We
man.
appreciate you.
Yes, thank
It's
you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful spot.
Yes. We look forward to what you guys are doing in any way, shape, or form. If we can help, let us know, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone listening out there, like I said, wanted to join Runners High, come through. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Check the calendar on IG, Runners High Shy. Monday nights at the 606 at 6:30 with Sam. Wednesday nights at the Swallow Cliff Stairs with Elsie and Eddie. We are out here. It is running season.
Yes, join us, please.
This is amazing. And to all those people, well, no, specifically to Roman and Cosmo, thank you for listening. And if you caught that just show up moment, this is for us.
Ya tú sabes. Peace.